Now, this being a new series of Top Gear, we thought we'd try out a new presenter, OK? He's called James May, and on the evidence of what we're about to see, he is a blithering idiot.
So, I ask you, is I bling?
In that jacket, mate, I don't think so.
Clarkson! I know it's you, you insufferable oaf. I'm on the bloody throne.
The news, ladies and gentlemen. Now, last week you saw Richard Hammond driving a six-wheeled Mercedes-Benz. But did you know they made another six-wheeled car long before that one? Would you like to see a picture of it?
Love to.
Here it is.
Oh, right.
Did they not mention this, then?
Do you know they didn't?
How odd.
It is, isn't it? Because Mercedes like to go on about their heritage and history, and they didn't mention that one.
Well, perhaps they didn't mention it because it's got Hitler in it.
I don't know.
That's not Hitler.
It is.
It isn't. No, that car was built long before indicators were invented, so he's just there to do some hand signals.
Really? What signals are you doing there, then, James?
He's saying, take the Third Reich. Ow! Try the chicken. I have a carving fork in my bling carving set. Da, 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 da.
Wow!
This was a present from Snoop Dogg a few years ago when I made an album with him. It actually makes the noise bling when you hold it up to the camera. Look, it goes bling. But I'll just give this a little... Oh, it makes me twitch. Over. Everybody, good news. No, wait, it's better than you think. The new Dacia Duster is coming to the UK.
OK.
How about that?
That's great. An abandoned nuclear missile base.
This is the silo.
That's a silo.
That's ever so big.
Hammond?
Yes?
This is an SS-18, nicknamed the Satan. It was targeted Ross-on-Wye.
Was it?
That's what that says.
Oh, no, hang on a minute, though. It says alternative target, Chipsky Norton there.
Chipsky Norton.
I think it must be damp.
However, another way. What you need is some sugar, some fertiliser, a length of wire, some electricity, and a plunger like we have here. OK. Fire at the pole! That usually clears them. James didn't take the news well.
Look what you've done to my bloody shed, man!
I had this bomb, and that'll buff out.
What time is this programme on? Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Is it 10 o'clock on BBC Two?
Yes.
Are we beyond the watershed?
Yes.
You're a fuck...
Guys. But because we are blokes, we do have ingenuity, so we shall overcome. For instance, James here has a music degree. So, James, if you would please take it away. Sounding good. Excellent. OK, here we go. On tonight's Cut Price Top Gear, a small plastic car that's actually quite economical. We take a seasonal Yuletide trip to Birmingham. Oh, and we do have a supercar, albeit a quite cheap one.
Steppenwolf, 3 for Queen, 4 for Deep Purple, 5 for Meatloaf, assuming you can get your fat, swollen, sweaty stumps of inbred fingers onto the 5 button on his chest. Right, nothing.
And James was rubbish with a shotgun.
But what does it say about Rover's long-term future?
I've just driven an Alfa Romeo, which manages to feel Italian, but without being too temperamental. And a BMW, which somehow feels German, but isn't too pompous. So why do our cars have to be twee? The Rover 75 seems to confirm something that I've long feared, that Britain is being turned into a fatuous theme park, obsessed with heritage and cowering behind a barricade of stupid nostalgic knickknacks. This is Rover. Rover, the company that gave us great cars like the P6, the SD1 and that experimental turbine car. I want something modern, not a great day out in history. This ridiculous hankering for the past is just not British. I can't stand it!
Still, don't let me put you off. Here's the lineup, and you can make your own mind up in June when the car goes on sale. Oh, and when you visit the dealer, remember to wear your tweed hat.
Or your... I can't see a bloody thing. Come on! Oh, crikey, it's the Albanian Rosas. Oh, shut up. Jeez. Oh, in the face!
No, I've got one. I came out of a meeting in London the other day. It was a beautiful sunny day. I thought I'll get the roof down, and I thought, I can't. I'm a middle-aged man with a bit of a paunch. I can't drive across London. What message am I giving out?
I think
you
you're
can't
right.
have a convertible.
When you're a bloke.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there. I hate to interrupt, but this is quite honestly the biggest load of limp-wristed twaddle I've ever heard in all my 5 weeks in television. These two are not men, okay? This one, Richard Hammond, every morning sticks his head in a bucket of hair product. Right? He's got a dog, but it's a poodle. And I don't know what you're laughing about, Clarkson, because you won't drink brown beer. And this is the man that says flatulence, oh, it's not funny, when clearly it is, isn't it? Right. The thing is, I believe deep in my heart that I look good in it and it suits me, because it's stylish and it's contemporary.
Every time I see you, those are the words that pop into my head. Stylish and contemporary.
Thank you.
After other words like, for instance, beige, Stannah Stairlift, the war. Have you got any more? Homosexual.
I object to the beige.
Now, bad news. It's about this, the Honda FRV it's called, OK? Now, it's a 6-seater car, you may remember. It had 3 seats in the front and 3 in the back. Well, Honda say it's been such an enormous success, they're dropping it.
I actually think the problem in this car was with the picture they sent us, this one, which is when the car came out a few years ago. Nobody wanted to drive around with a small girl's severed head stuck on the front.
The worst thing about this is that when it came out, is we all got suckered into it and thought, yeah, she's 3 in the front, 3 in the back, it makes sense, but it doesn't.
If you think, I mean, I've got 2 daughters, so if I have one in the front between me and my wife, that leaves one girl in the back all on her own. So you're just going to have a massive argument every time you go near them.
Exactly. That is the big...
It's not going to work.
That's not the worst bit about those 6-seater cars, because it could be worse if you had your wife in the front and both daughters and you sat in the back.
Oh.
No, but you do see that occasionally. You see the mother in the front, and then there's a bloke sitting in the back. So there's nothing
It's
more
tragic. It's the most pitiable sight
God,
you
it's
can see.
awful. She's effectively saying, you've given me the baby, now get in the back.
Yeah.
When archaeologists unearth this house, they will find evidence of the British public being funny. Here it is. Introducing a pink brick to an otherwise red one. Now, I didn't notice that because we were building the wall from the other side. It wasn't until we got up to there that we spotted it, which means it's embedded forever. And if it was you who did this, I hate you.
Can I just make it absolutely clear now that I'm only here because the producer said I had to be? I don't like snow. I hate being cold. I hate outdoor pursuits. I hate the idea that I've got to push my body to find the limit. I can't stand this stupid clothing that makes this rustling noise when you move all the time. And I hate the zips and the toggles and all the pockets and that. And I hate your stupid truck.
Listen, shh. If we make it, look at it this way. You will be the first person ever to go to the North Pole who didn't want to be there.
I have a proper British lawnmower at home, an Atco twin clutch, but I don't actually have a lawn. But it's still something that's very pleasant to own as an artefact and as an example of fine engineering with a great engineering heritage. It's very difficult.
So, James was boring everyone to death.
Right, the news, and we begin tonight with probably the best piece of news I've ever heard since I was born.
An event, in fact,
Don't.
which eclipses the very miracle of my birth.
Hang on, the best piece of news you've ever heard ever.
What is it?
They're going to stop making the Beetle.
And that's it. That's not the new
That is fantastic. No,
It's not
the
that
old
good,
one.
is it?
They're still making it till the 30th of July, and then it stops forever.
And why is that so
Why
good,
do you
really?
hate it so much?
Do you really want me to do it?
Well, no, just, I can't... I mean,
Okay, it's a rubbish car.
That's incisive.
That's the first thing. It's a rubbish car. Secondly, it was a scandal. Okay, that car was stolen from a Czech bloke called Ledwinka, I think, by
yeah.
Hitler and his henchmen. They put it into production. They stole money off the German people to build it and to build a factory. They never got a car. Instead, they used the factory and slaved Russian labour from the Eastern Front to build V1 bombs.
You can't blame the poor little Herbie.
And I haven't finished yet.
Oh, here we go.
In the factory, Russian slave labour built V1 flying bombs, one of which landed where my house now stands.
That is the most convoluted reason for
There's
hating
more.
Oh, no.
Does anybody own a Beetle?
No,
Yes.
nobody's going to...
Right. Are you happy driving around in a mass murderer's personal biffer bag? You are. Gentlemen, I don't want to put too fine a point on this. It's half-time. We're losing. You're a bit crap. Now, when we're on the attack, because we're getting very messy, go up the pitch together in formation so we can pass straight up, but be ready to come back down again. Very important. Reversing if necessary. If not, you can get to the other end and you can quite easily do a handbrake turn around the post. Either side. Handbrake turn around the post, up you go again to the top, kill Clarkson. That's all you have to do. Any questions?
Don't laugh.
Jeremy's blind.
Oh, what?
No!
Has James actually... It does look very good.
God's sake! A quick situation update. I'm driving through sunny Italy. Shut up!
Bad news, James. I'm afraid there's a tunnel coming up.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Don't do it, Hammond. Just relax. Enjoy a bit of quiet.
You are gonna love that.
The only thing I keep in my car is a little paintbrush for cleaning dust out of the switches.
You're scaring me, mate.
And I always like to have the air vents lined up, really, so they're
Stop
completely
talking
symmetrical. And if anybody moves them,
No, stop it.
I get really angry.
Does genuinely scare me.
He does, yeah, properly. Hey, listen, you know those dot matrix signs that you see on the M25? Okay, the overhead gantries with messages saying congestion ahead, and there never is.
No, there isn't.
Do you know why?
Well, because there's never been any correlation between a dot matrix display and the truth.
That's true.
That
In
is
fact,
true.
I've got a mate with a microwave oven with a dot matrix on, and when you cook something in it, it goes ping, and then it says, enjoy your meal. In the
Which
little
is
display.
extremely unlikely if it's come out of the microwave, to be
Exactly.
brutally honest.
Well, particularly unlikely when I was drying my pants in them the other day. It said, enjoy your meal. Yes.
In a mate's microwave?
Well,
That means you had no pants on in your mate's kitchen. What were you doing?
No,
What
that-
did you make him?
I washed
His
them.
coffee in the morning and you're there with no pants on and everything.
I had my
Tell him,
spare pants
Stop
on.
talking.
Stop talking
talking.
again.
He doesn't have a tub
For
to
your
dry.
sake and for ours.
Unfortunately, James was no Sir Edmund Hillary.
You've got to page the cross.
There you go, I've done it.
No, you've got to get it across the whole way
No,
across.
that'll do.
It won't do.
Shut up. Clarkson!
What?
I know it's you.
We're up to 40 miles an hour in the Bago. It's changed. Come on.
I was asleep.
Where's May?
Packing in, I'm on the throne. Clarkson, it's not funny. Clarkson, you infantile pillock. You're tidying that up.
Never mind, things could be worse.
Oh, cock. That is. And I've stalled and I've overheated. really is a rather sick car, my brother.
Jeremy, didn't you recently call bus drivers Nazis?
No.
No, you did. You did.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't. I said that they were little Hitlers and murderers.
Either way, fact is, they're quite cross, and more specifically, their union leader is furious with you personally, and he's gone on record as saying that you should spend a week working as a bus driver under their working conditions for their pay.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. What's he done there? What he's saying is that bus drivers' working conditions and pay are dreadful.
And he's their union leader.
Well, who's responsible for that? Him!
Yeah.
Basically, he ran to one end of the pitch, kicked it to the back of the net and went, yeah, I recognise that goalie, it's mine. I've got it. What an idiot.
He is. But you've driven a bus, haven't you?
Yes, lots
How
of bus
hard
driving.
is it?
Easiest thing I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's easy as sitting here.
Yeah, it's easier, actually, because you're not being filmed. So you can have a joint. No, sorry. Breathe.
Moments later, James slowed down to let a mad local get past.
Does that mean there's one of those maniacal taxi drivers?
And I didn't.
Oh, God. Sorry, I was
perfectly straight with you
watching
about
the
this. You're now going to get macheted to death.
I was watching the
I don't
taxi.
care. I did warn you. Did I or did I not warn you?
James is killing Jeremy. Then things are going well.
I was watching the taxi.
You weren't.
I was watching the taxi.
Did your co-presenter on your television programme just attack you with a machete?
Yes, he did. He came to the window. It's quite cross because I ran into him.
That doesn't happen on, like, clothes programmes or gardening shows.
Well, actually, we'll do the news in a minute, because first I want to say a couple more things about that Bentley. You see, you said there it was like a slab of old England.
Yes.
But Bentley is owned by VW.
Yeah.
That car was styled by a Belgian, and it was engineered by a man called Ulrich Eichhorn. Doesn't sound very British.
Are you
does it?
presenting Top Gear, or are you writing a letter to the Daily Telegraph?
Well, I'm just saying that you know immediately that that car is German because it's got too much power. They've overdone it, as usual, like they did on their French holiday in 1939.
James, the Queen is German, but
Yes.
you don't sing Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles every time she comes on the television, do you?
Well, I do, actually.
Yeah, he does.
Guess what?
What?
Kyoto protects traditional crafts and making things is popular here.
Wow.
Bim, you know what? It's about 4 o'clock now.
Yes, it is. That's not a really amazing fact I've had a watch since I was 3, you idiot.
I'm starting to have reservations about Robohon's tour guide credentials.
Where are we going? Are you awake? No. If this actually makes it into the programme, I'll know we were really desperate.
After turning him off and on again several times, Robohon finally finds something he wants to talk about.
Bim, guess what?
What?
Shichirohashi is a bridge representative of Kyoto that crosses the Kamo River of Shiju Street. It is also called Jianbashi.
And what's that?
Guess what?
What?
Shichirohashi is a bridge representative of Kyoto that crosses the Kamo River of Shiju Street.
You've just said that, you
It is
digital
Bashi.
As we approach our first stop, Robohon has clearly taken my constructive criticism on board.
Bim, guess what?
What?
Shichirohashi is a bridge representative of Kyoto that crosses the Kamo River of Shiju Street. It is also called Jianbashi.
You know, I knew that. I've heard it somewhere before.
Clearly a buff on bridges,
There it is.
Robohon's less sure on temples and shrines.
Disappointing, considering there are over 2,000 of them in Kyoto, and they're kind of the reason I came. OK, back to the car. We're going back to the car, Robo-Hon.
Yes, OK. It's down the steps, through the red gate.
OK. I never thought I'd say it, but I'm starting to miss Yujiro. Robo-Hon, tell me something interesting, but not the bit about the bridge or I'll throw you out the window. Google would at least say, did you mean Jim? But not Robo-Hon. Hey, Bim.
Guess what?
As dawn broke, the peace and serenity of this beautiful Ugandan morning was shattered by the bellow of a wild animal.
Clarkson! On the way, we stopped for a cup of tea and an argument about running costs. My last service bill, £212.09. There it is.
£212 for a hosepipe?
Yes. What was yours?
Read it and weep. That's the last service bill.
Hey? 50... I misread that at first. 15,000?
Yeah, and?
£915 and 59 pence.
Yes, £15,900 for a service.
Is that...
There was quite a lot needed doing, if I'm honest.
What did he do, buy you a Golf?
He's not going to do it.
Oh, look. I need a tow. Tows.
Try!
It won't do it. It's only got 104 horsepower. Get the truck. Get your 4x4, please, and tow me the first 20 yards. That's what you've got it for. Get it in front.
He's really shouting at me. I don't respond well to shouting. I like calmness.
Can you help?
Yep.
What's the matter?
Says I want a tow. You've got a 4x4. Put it there. Just tow me a bit. I helped you nick the ice making machine. Do something in return.
You wet yourself.
You're still not doing it.
Yeah. This is me saving James May.
It's not ideal, but... Jeremy, he's ready!
Keep going!
What is that noise? That's my gearbox.
No, stop! Oh, you pillock. The harder I drove to catch up, the more unbearable the noise became.
Hot, uncomfortable, numb buttocks, crushed testicles, sweaty shirt, smelly bits.
What really annoys me is that you buy a Ferrari 430 and you think this is as good as Ferrari can make a car, and then a couple of minutes later they come along and go, no, actually this is.
But it's going to cost an extra £28,000.
But if you give us another £28,000, you'll have a car that's as good as we can actually make it.
Exactly right.
I think it's a bit like that Sainsbury's Taste the Difference cheese.
No, let me think about it.
Cheese.
Hold on a minute.
No.
No, it's not like cheese.
No, that's not cheese. No. This is an analogy. But you go into Sainsbury's and you see cheese, and it costs a certain amount of money, but then next to it there's Taste the Difference cheese, and it's a little bit more expensive, but it tastes really nice.
The bachelor life.
No, but what I want to know is, why don't they just make all the cheese like that? Or do they just make that cheese and then make something that's a bit worse, price it lower and say, here's some rubbish cheese for poor people?
Hang on, I'm confused. So why
are you on this programme?
I'm right, aren't I? It is like, why would you deliberately make the cheese less good than you could make it?
It's a bloody Ferrari! It's not cheese!
That's right. They've deliberately made the F430 less good than they know it can be. So they then bring out a more expensive one and put Taste the Difference on it and sell it in Sainsbury's. Well, they don't actually do that.
Now
you know
you confused yourself, you poor old goat. Is it? Sorry.
Right. I'm moving it on. James has plainly gone quite mad.
Now, the normal rules are, if you've got a big, heavy car and you want it to go fast, you have to put a big, powerful engine in it. If you've got a small, light car and you want it to go fast, you don't need to put such a big engine in it. So what happens if you take a very light car and put a very big engine in it?
Well, in my case, you look like a spaniel with its head out of the window. No, you've got to lift it. No! Hammond, you idiot, man! Honestly! How can you be so useless, man?
Hammond is really...
Listen, honestly, that's the only bit of this project that has gone properly. The shed was up and perfect, and you've wrecked the shed, and you've wrecked your stupid, idiotically designed...
No, this is a loss.
Bed.
That part
No, it's not a loss. It's not a loss. That is not... It isn't, because it turns out that this...
It doesn't matter.
This is no good for shooting branches off.
No, but the river of gravel cascading majestically through the garden to end in the tree
Have you any
is now
idea
spoiled. What?
How far we are from a river of gravel running through your garden? Look what it's got. It's got a river of track marks, a broken, stupid toy digger in a hole.
There's a few sites along the way on the river. The crane stuck.
And look at the holes. Look at that.
That is.
It has gone. How long have we been here? Bit of an abrupt stop, but never mind. There is my banana. Now, some of you will be thinking, what happens if James in the office wants to send something to Simi in the workshop? Because neither of us have a controller. But there is...
We must do the news, and we start off with news that since James drove that Virage, Aston Martin have launched a new car. And here it is. It's called the V12 Zagato. There it is. And, James, you'll be particularly interested in this, mate, I think.
Will I?
Yeah, you will. Because the boss of the company was quoted this week as saying, the Nürburgring is where we sign off every new I'm quoting, and there could be no better place for the new V12 Zagato to be finally tested, said the boss of Aston Martin.
For crying out loud. Do you know what? If I'd been in Bomber Command in 1943, I would have bombed the Nürburgring every single night until it was gone. Am I the only person who thinks like this?
This bad back of yours, would you say it makes you a bit crabby?
There's nothing to do with that bad back. He's got a bad back as well, but he won't agree with me about it.
Okay.
Ride is important.
All right.
Bomb it! It was a bad policy. Look where we are now. We no longer have Dresden Cathedral or all that lovely pottery, but we do have the Nürburgring, and under my bombing policy, we wouldn't have cars that rode badly, and you'd have a nice cathedral to look at and better saucers.
Meanwhile, in the convertible, James was very unhappy with his new steering knob.
Oh, God, it's the left-hander. Bend the knob. What is the matter with those two? God, my doves have escaped. My doves have got out.
What doves? What do you mean got out?
My doves from my magic box. They're all over the back. They've crapped everywhere.
Upset by the mess, OCD May ejected the culprit.
Oh my God, there's a lorry going to...
That is an X-Dove.
Yeah, now you see the truck that hit your dove, James. How good are you at magic?
Seriously, did it not fly away?
You're not going to do children's parties, are you? Because you're going to have to change your act if you are.
So, Sally, is this the family parrot? Just watch what happens when I throw it out of the window of a moving vehicle.
James was having problems with his illegal immigrant.
Come on,
So he decided to employ him.
We shall not go quietly into the night. We have faced adversity in the day shift, roof is...
James, even given the limitations of the material you've used, your car looks crap.
Yeah, but look how it blends in with the environment. Prince Charles would love this.
It doesn't blend in with anything. Well, there's no environment left. You've dug it all up.
Right, can we finally go?
Yes, you can.
Good.
11 miles lie ahead.
Are you there? Ow! That is a complete mystery, to be honest. Well, it had an arched roof, it had a keystone. There must be something wrong with that mortar. I've broken Stalin's house. Jeez, I'm going to the gulag.
James! I've broken Stalin's house.
Hang on, mine cost £3,990, so I get 1,010 points there. Look at that. that's, I like that. Go on then. How much did yours cost?
4,999.
So you get 4 points, which means clearly I win that. Thank you very much.
Well, I may as well have just bought a toy car. If it was going to get the price, I would have got 5,000 and then I'd have won.
Those are the rules and I win. Thank you. I'm delighted. And rightly so.
I'm sorry if I may just take that from you and ask you to stand to one side because my car was £2,990, meaning I have 2,010 points straight away there, which I think you will find makes me the winner.
That's just silly. That's just ridiculous.
You'll never take me alive, copper. I'll see you in Spain, lads.
Gearbox. It's called a. It's well.
Is it German?
It's a German name, and it's really
God.
complicated. So let me just spell this out. It's a DOPPELKUPPLUNG SGETRIBE.
Can we get it on the screen? Get it. Oh, what's any Germans here?
That's a long word.
Do you know what that means? You speak German.
I do.
Well, no, what's the only German you can say?
Aber ja, natürlich, Hans ist nass, er steht unter dem Wasserfall.
What's that mean?
Naturally, Hans is wet, he's standing under a waterfall.
Okay.
I use it all the time.
That's kind of a one-shot deal, isn't it?
Time for the real record.
早く行こうぜ俺一番栗原くん早いっすよ
The story is an emotive tale about 3 boys going on an adventure to find a miracle flower of happiness. But audiences will clearly be flocking to it for the breakout performance of Fido number 2. The review of the day's footage seems to go down well.
Rescue me. Well, that's not right.
Hammond!
I have been rescued and I haven't even broken down.
Hello.
James, bad news. The Dacia Sandero.
The what?
The Dacia Sandero is not coming to the UK.
Oh. Now, British car.
You turn the traction control off?
Yes.
Have you ever done that in your life?
No.
I think it's very game of him to join in.
What do I do? Lots of revs. Steering wheel straight.
Oh.
Oh, cock.
You are such an imbecile.
What do you call that?
I overcorrected.
How well does that bode for Bonneville?
You can't drive in a straight line.
Traction control on.
Right, Hammond, can you swing it round?
Do you want me to swing it?
Yeah, swing it. Try and get it straight. Oh, shit!
Who pulled that?
We've got to save the car. It's a reef. Save it. I haven't got it. It's gone.
Who pulled the... That's to release it, you muppet.
I thought it was a guide rope. I thought
No, I steer it. You just release it when it's on there.
Oh, he told me to steer it with that rope. He said pull the rope to
This
steer
is a £400,000 crane. Why would you steer it with a piece of string? It's got all these knobs and buttons. I steer it. You release it.
Do you know the game? If you ever played that game, the I Have Never game, you think of things, you know, around a table. I've never braked, never bought anything in Marks and Spencer's. And then if you're losing, you just go for the I've never used a tampon.
You're a bloke. That is a winner. That is a winner. I'll remember that tip.
Yeah.
I have.
You've used a tampon?
Are you sure? You know, spillage.
Oh, mate, what?
Well, I had a bit of an accident on the cooker once. You know.
Sorry, this is getting worse.
No, hear me out. Well, you're boiling something. I was doing something with milk in it, and it boiled over, and it goes in that bit at the back where you can't get your finger in. And if you don't clean it up, you don't clean that out, it goes rancid and it smells forever.
You use the tampons to clean a cooker? And this is
because I couldn't get my finger in it.
He doesn't have OCD.
Listen, no.
You do have OCD.
I don't.
You know the bezel on a watch? You know the little arrow thing here? If I have it here, he's fine. But if I put it round, ready? There.
It's like kryptonite.
Get it back in the right position.
You can't bear it if I haven't got that arrow.
Look! Shall I tell you the other interesting thing about tampons? Seriously, has anybody got like an old twin-cylinder motorcycle, parallel twin? You'll know this. You always get a little bit of oil dripping.
Not.
You will. You get a little bit of oil that always leaks out through the seal, and it collects, and you can't get at it to mop it up. All right, you put a lillet on the end of a screwdriver, Phillips.
Do you carry them round with you on a bandolier? Like a Schwarzenegger arrangement full of tampons just in case.
It's a new application for an existing technology. I'm adapting it like we do with radio.
Go away.
What's you done? I can't stand that.
Somebody...
You can't bear it. You honestly cannot bear it if I do that.
Now look, I've got news from Renault. They've got a new car. I've got a picture of it here. It's called the Influenza.
It isn't called the Influenza.
It's called something a bit like that. It's electric, as you can see, because there it is, plugged in, recharging. And I was wondering, when in the future, when we're all driving electric cars, as they tell us we will, the cities are full of these charging points, won't 10-year-old boys just go around unplugging cars? Because that's what we would have done when I was 10.
Oh, not until
Why
now.
do you have to be 10? Why wouldn't you do that age, I don't know, 52?
Well, what?
You would, though, wouldn't you? If you saw somebody chug like, you would just go, you would.
I would.
It's the same as, you remember the early Fiat Panda? The boxy one that Giugiaro designed?
Yeah.
Whenever I walked past one of those with a group of friends, he always picked it up and turned it round. So people would...
Yes.
You could just... Because I was going, no, how's that happen?
In the same way that it's always great fun to lock someone else's bicycle up with your bicycle lock.
You're just a yobbo!
No, it's a great game.
You must
Sometimes just throw a brick through their window
No,
or set fire to their shop.
How big go to Halfords, you buy a whole lot of really, really cheap bicycle locks.
It's a combination one.
Yeah, and then just go along the street locking people's bikes up.
Why would you do that?
Because it's funny.
No, but you do. No, but it is because you do it. And then I did this with Robert Cook on York Station in 1978. If it was your bicycle, you'll know it was us. But you lock it up and then you hide behind some wheelie bins and wait for them to come back because they take their own lock off, going, "Oh yes, my bicycle's good," and they run off and go dunk. And they look around, "Oh, I didn't put that on."
People are watching. They're getting the idea.
No, well, don't do this, children, 10-year-olds and 52-year-olds, if you're watching. We're not condoning
Or 52-year-old
locking other
children
people's bicycles up.
you
Or
mustn't-
indeed unplugging people's electric car, because when they come back and find the range just says 2, it's not funny.
We're not saying you should do that.
No, you shouldn't.
We're just saying you can do it. Now, gauging drive. Here we go.
There must have been 30 or 40 people in the room when the police arrived.
Clarkson!
Oh, mate. It landed jam side down.
Now, I would like to have a conversation about the Nürburgring, because this is important. Last year, I was delighted. The people who run the Nürburgring in Germany, they said they were going to ban car manufacturers from setting lap records.
Sorry,
there,
why were you delighted about that?
Because that's an excellent idea. Because if you make a car that is excellent for doing a fast lap of the Nürburgring, it will be useless as a car everywhere else in your life. It's like setting your house up to play Laser Quest. It will be brilliant for playing Laser Quest, but it'll be rubbish for a dinner party because it's full of lasers and darkness and fog and music and people running around thinking that they're in Star Wars. Or you could get a dog. You could train a dog as an attack dog, which is fantastic if you own a scrapyard and you need the dog to guard it. But if you take it home and expect it to be a pet, it will eat your children. It's completely useless. That's what happens when you set a car up for the Nürburgring.
Yeah, this isn't really a conversation, James.
No, I think we've accidentally turned down Rant Lane this week.
Well, there's more,
he's off
actually.
again.
No, but the thing is, the bad news in all this is that they've decided that they will allow car manufacturers to set lap records again.
Well, that's good.
No, it's bad.
OK.
Because think of the cars that have come out recently that we've driven that have been developed so that they would go fast around the Nürburgring. BMW M4 GTS, you can't deny it, it's a terrible car.
Yes.
Nissan GTR, the track edition, that is a terrible car. Even Seat, the Seat Leon Cupra 280, that's got a hatchback record for going around the Nürburgring, and it's rubbish. The Nürburgring ruins cars. I'm developing an app for the smartphone called Bomb the Nürburgring, where you guide a Dornier 17 over it and blow it up.
What are you doing on this programme?
Talking sense.
Good question. I don't know.
Because we have this old woman who has a baking show in Britain. She's called Mary Berry. And it would be the same, you probably know, she's probably the same as her saying, I hate cakes.
Yes.
Mary Berry would agree with me, because if she made a cake that had been developed on the Nürburgring, someone would put fried onions on the top and completely ruin it. You'd have a Victoria sponge with onion on the top for no reason.
James, you know you're weird, don't
That's
you?
not weird. That's the most sensible thing that's ever been said on this show.
You are weird.
Not weird.
He is weird. We were coming through the airport here the other day, coming through Chicago, and he went, Jeremy, smell my jacket.
He said what?
Yeah.
He did. He said, smell my jacket. I said, why? He said, because it smells of old record players.
Mate, that is weird.
But it did.
You know record players don't smell of anything.
They do. Old ones do. They smell of old record players. Who knows what an old record player smells like? Smells of decaying electrical
I'd like us to move
things
it on
and
because
valves.
it's getting scary now. What are you
That's not
what are
a
you doing?
record player.
Smells of anything. What do you want about?
Does anybody have an old record player or anything old electrical? They smell, don't they? They
Does
have a
anybody
smell.
ever smelt an old record player, really? You think you have? You've smelt an old... God's truth. Did it have a wax cylinder on it, your old record player? What?
I feel like old plastic and warm rubber.
Yeah, exactly. See,
No, that's the smelling of his special drawer, is that?
You're actually talking to Thomas Edison there. He invented the record player. Impressive. Well done, sir. I have a letter from Robert J. Sweet on behalf of the judges. I've been instructed to write to you by the judges of the 2009 Chelsea Flower Show to congratulate you on an inspiring and creative garden entirely made from plasticine. The lack of plants resulted in a 30% handicap, and disappointingly, the end result is that the garden has failed to achieve the minimum 45% required to make an award. No flowers, my arse. It is very rare for the judges not to award a medal for a garden. But I know that the public likes Paradise in Plasticine, so I decide to take matters into my own hands. Brothers, sisters, I have in my hand a piece of paper, and what it says is that our garden has failed to win a medal at Chelsea. I think what we are seeing here is the beginning of a revolution. The first crack of a giant fissure that will divide society into them and us. This, people, is our winter palace. And when you are old, you will be able to tell your children and your grandchildren that you were there when it started. You were there in the people's plasticine garden.
As you can see, I've done absolutely nothing to the outside of my car, and that's because I've spent my whole 300 quid on exactly what a 17-year-old wants. A banging stereo for me tunes.
Yeah. Oh, there's a thing there. It's not a rope.
We are good. It's like literally being with Livingston.
Yeah.
And...
That would help. Probably quite painful.
It was. But don't worry, I'm all right.
What? Excuse me. What? You are an apocalyptic dingleberry.
Why? Now, you know that new law about kids under 4'5", they have to use a booster seat in the car?
He does.
Yes, all right.
All right, people under 4'5" have to use a booster seat in the car.
Yeah.
Well, in North Yorkshire, the police say they cannot enforce that law. And do you know why? They do not have the... They do not have the legal...
I can't wait for this now. The legal...
Because they do not have the legal right to measure children. To just measure them. It's just if you see a policeman measuring your children, you think, quick, call the...
A bit of drift, bit of drifting. Oh, God. Top ignorer, this is difficult. Gas, gas.
It's going down.
No!
Keep it upright.
I may be going sideways slightly.
Mayday!
No! Oh, bloody hell, stop! Stop! Stop!
What's this? Cock!
Why stopped?
I was trying to clear that thing of snow. It's got a car in it. I was going to be helpful and clear that, and it just there was a car.
A car?
No, it was covered in snow. I thought it was a pile of snow.
It's not covered in snow.
No, it's not now, you moron. It was. I thought. I said.
Why did you ram the car?
You rammed into a car.
I didn't. I was trying to be helpful.
There was only one thing to do.
Go, run away, run!
Today, we are still in the 1970s, and the great question that we are addressing on this occasion is cheese versus cheese. So, in the 1970s, there were only 3 types of cheese available as far as I know. One of them was cheddar, that's this one here. The other one was red Leicester. The third one, which we're not featuring, was pre-grated Parmesan in a small blue pot that smelled of sick. And it wasn't until much later in life when I ate a real piece of Parmesan that you broke away from a block that had been cut from a true wheel that I realised Parmesan didn't taste like a baby had vomited on your food. But anyway, we'll stick with the ones we had. These are cheese. They are not shade grown, they're not lime caught, they're not oak aged, they're not free trade, they are just cheese.
This made James very unpleased.
You bastards! I hate you! Both of you! You utter bastards!
Listen, I am prepared to tow your boot full of water, that's important. I'm not going to tow a dead engine that's full of water as well, that's just a waste of fuel.
Rubbish, it wasn't dead. I could have mended that once we dragged it out. It's just ignition. I've done it 5 times already. You complete moron.
I hope you get Bill Hart's here of the ball sack.
Right, that's it, he's asked for it.
Funny, very funny.
Funny man.
I think you're following him too closely.
Why don't you sod off?
Has it affected the handling?
What was that?
There was a survey recently, okay, about the effects that a nice car can have
on a male, a human male, okay? What they did was they got 40 young guys and they made them drive up and down the street in a Toyota Camry and then drive up and down the same street in the same manner in a Porsche 911. And then they measured their testosterone after each drive. And after driving the Porsche, it had shot up.
So it had an actual physiological effect?
Yeah, I'm amazed by that.
I think that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because whenever I drive a really nice, exciting car, I always get like a nice little fizzing sensation. Well, no, it's not.
Where is this fizzing
Well, it's not
sensation?
actually in my penis, but it's sort of just behind it.
A fizzing sensation just behind your penis?
Yeah.
So isn't that the pit of your stomach?
No, lower down than that. Sort of right.
That's your prostate, mate. You've set on the gear.
No.
Has anybody else had a fizzing sensation just behind their penis?
Am I the only person? Ah, thank you, sir.
You have?
Good man.
Or do you just want to be on television? Do come here. Do come here.
It's just got a lot worse.
James May, a man in a moustache, has come on the stage and wishes to meet you so you can discuss your fizzing penises.
I'll just...
That's the end of the news.
Oh, God!
I'd like to commend you on being brave enough, especially as you've grown a moustache for charity, to come on the stage and admit that you, too, have been bestowed with this great gift from the gods of a slight fizzing sensation somewhere behind your penis but in front of your prostate when you drive an exciting car. What sort of car are you driving when you feel it?
Citroen AX.
No, seriously. Well, we'll come back. We really must invite you to go back over there. Thank you.
I think some of us are just more fortunate than others. You must have had this on a motorcycle.
No,
I bet
never.
you have.
No, I'm just going to stand as well. I don't even want to use that seat now. This is just...
Tell you what, though, Hammond, the pothole is not the problem. It's a pothole that's been repaired by a British worker, Johnny. Look at this, OK? Look at that. How can you stand back and go, yes, I've done a good job there?
It can't be that difficult for a solution. They need to design like a liquid, that you just pour in to potholes everywhere, and then it sets, so it's self-level, and it would set up.
Why could you not do that?
Would work.
It is a brilliant idea.
Thank you, it's mine.
So there we are.
It's available. My cheese sauce.
What?
James, you know I said that we'd got more mature in this series. You've gone straight to dementia.
No.
Cheese sauce.
When I make cheese sauce, I always make too much, like everybody does. So there's like a quarter of an inch in the bottom of the pan. And when you get up the next day, that bit is so hard, you either throw the pan away or you treat that as the new bottom of the pan. So if you put that in the hole,
cheese sauce.
Job's your uncle.
We solved it.
Job done.
We solved the pothole problem.
Back.
Oh, God. How has the world managed without us for the last few months?
Clarkson! Funny! You funny men!
Meanwhile, James was still stuck in a sheep pen. Really stuck.
No. Right, hang on. I can do...
Despite it being my day off, they're adamant I film a single piece about the region's mythical guardian, of whom there's a statue outside with nothing amusing about his design whatsoever. Action.
Okay, I'm ready. Oh, I can do it, right. Right, I'm ready. This is Momotaro. He's a local folk hero. According to legend, an old lady... That was so close. So close. He's no... I'm not sure I can do it. Oh, sorry, I'll do it again.
This is Momotaro. He's a local folk hero. And let me see if I can remember the story correctly. There was an old woman who was out by the river and she saw a big peach floating past. So she picked it up and took it home. And when she cut it in half, she found this small boy inside. And the small boy went off and he made friends with a dog, a monkey, a pheasant and a pigeon. And then somehow, with their help, defeated all the ogres who were threatening the city. And why is his penis over to one side?
What really happened? It did. Watch. Do both together. Let's see how high we can get it. You ready? You ready?
On three. After three.
1, 2, 3.
Yay! Oh, sorry. Did I hit?
Oh, you actually hit him in the plums.
Never mind. Can I do that again?
Don't hit me in the plums anymore.
Don't hit me in the plums anymore.
Actually, this is a bit risky, but...
Do you just think you could keep your homosexuality to yourself
I'll
for just 5
apologise for hitting
minutes?
you in the plums.
Did he go for your plums? He does that. He actually does go for them.
In the right one.
Did he have his
It was
hand
my
that way as
favourite one.
Did he cup it or punch you?
He punched it.
It was a fast cup. That's what it was. It was a fast cup in the plums.
So, in conclusion,
you're well, you've got the most charismatic car, but whatever the challenge is to demonstrate the brilliance of rear-wheel drive, you're not going to win.
James May.